Okay, we are here, first match with tokens. I'm on the play. I would love to keep this hand. Inquisition and Bitter Blossom into Souls with Will Interaction if we wanted it is pretty good, but I don't think we can afford to keep a one-lander here. It's a bummer. It's a great hand. Alright, well, similar hand, a little slower because we have a tap land, but we do get a scry and we do have two one-drop plays, so we'll keep this, hopefully scry land to the top. I mean, it's technically a land. Yeah, I think with souls and virtue and everything, I just need to keep that. So we'll see. Okay, so their turn. So storm maybe? So the question is virtue, and then if we draw land, souls, but I don't think so. I'm just gonna go ahead and Inquisition. If it is storm, we just need to start getting these discard spells off. Probably storm. Yep, alright, so they have Electromancer and Baral, which is a huge bummer. They will get to cast one, we will not get to remove it. So, they kind of just have a great hand, unfortunately. Could take a Manamorphose or a Ritual. They're going to be tapping out. I guess they're going to tap out for Baral. Then they'll have Remand up and they'll be able to loot. But that'd be the following turn. The next turn will either Souls or Thoughtseize. I guess if they Remand Thoughtseize, it's not the worst because I can replay it given that I have the land. If I don't have the land, it's going to be kind of tough to win anyway. Well, no, because they're going to tap out for a creature next turn, so I get to Thoughtseize next turn if I want. We have 6 removal spells in this deck. Or no, I guess, yeah. Thing is, Ritual, Manamorphose is kind of good. Probably their best card. Could also take their Grape Shot. Most lists do run 2 or 3, but then all I need to do is find a Past in Flames, which they can get with gifts. So they have a lot of outs even if I take the Grape Shot. And having 2 creatures I don't think matters because most spells, like, you're not going to get more than 1 mana discount. I guess Gifts does, but that's it. Well, curious to hear what you guys say in the comments, but I think I'm just going to take the Grave Shot. Let them spin their wheels a little bit. Maybe I'll get to Thoughtseize of Gifts or something like that. Yeah, it was a tough hand. Curious to know what you guys think about that. They just had so much redundancy. If they had only one of the creatures, I would have certainly taken either one. That was kind of a no-brainer there. Alright, so I think I just need to start the pressure a little bit. Then hopefully the Thoughtseize can nag something. Metamorphose, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's possible. Metamorphose is the other card I could have taken. But we'll see what they do here. Well, even if I do draw land, probably Thoughtseize and Souls. Get in for 2, and the following turn play Virtue. If I play Virtue, I get in for 4, and then the following turn I get in for 4, and then the following turn I get in for 8. Otherwise, I get in for 2 now, and I get in for 8 next turn. So yeah, it's more damage if I bring Souls back before Virtue. The other consideration is whether I want to bring in to play Auriok Champion. I guess I don't really have that option anymore. So not if I want to play Thoughtseize. So they drew, scried, and drew. They have Remand up. So getting some life will be interesting at some point. So it does mess with their numbers a little bit. So you can Remand here if they wanted to. Double Remand, Electromancer. Ritual. So the only thing triple creatures does for them is allows them to play gifts for 1, but I don't think that's a huge difference. And let's see, let's just go ahead and take the ritual here, and then we'll flash back. If they want to remand, that's okay. Sucks because they get to loot, but okay. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting in there. Thing is, with 8 rituals, they're a favorite to draw one. Okay. It's not terrible. Yep, bring it on. Alright, well, this would be good. I think they remand a Souls. Wonder if they remand the champion. Just want to use my mana. If they remand it, so be it. I don't really have another option. Yeah. If I had another land, for example, I would have played Champion and Virtue. Probably would have played Champion first. No, yeah. And they'd remand that. Couldn't replay it, but that's fine. Yep. Yep. You have the gifts? They do. They did draw the gifts. Okay. Let's see if they can win, though. That's the question. Although I guess their flashback spell, Past in Flames, costs them 3 to flashback right now. That's kind of tough. Three, and they have 2 mana. They can start flashing back rituals. Yeah, Past in Flames is just too good. I mean, what I don't want to give them is more cards, so if they use the Past in Flames, they gotta use it once, not twice. If they use the Manamorphose, I want them to use it once, not twice, so. And they have the Grave Shot in the graveyard, yeah, so we're very dead. But if we did slow them down and we did draw the lands, again, going back on testing new cards, Call to the Feast would have been pretty good. I mean, if we would have been able to gain 6 or 12 life off of this, it kind of puts a burden on their, I mean, obviously this isn't, this doesn't matter, but they remand it, they could have done, yeah, I guess they could do 40, so yeah, so maybe not. I mean, I guess when Storm goes off now, these new versions of Storm, especially when they can remand their own Grape Shots, they can easily deal you 40 damage in a turn if they want to, so maybe not a big difference, but certainly no worse in this matchup than Spectral Procession, other than maybe being able to cast it for 3, which, again, the whole point of these videos is to figure that out, right? Is this better or worse than Spectral Procession? And I think in this matchup, it's only upside. So, what are Thoughtseize? Rest in Peace, Surgicals. You keep all the removal, unfortunately. I think I nixed this Soren's too slow. Bitter Blossoms are too slow. So keep all the discard, all the removal for their guys. I think Virtues are good. Don't need Auriok Champion. I sometimes bring in Damnation because they tend to board in more, or they go for the Empty the Warrens plan in the sideboarding. But what do I take out? Shave of Virtue. I guess, yeah, just to make sure I have enough threats. Like, I like the clock, but I guess this does work as a pump spell. Huh. And then this is removal and threats. This is more threats. Question is, do I want more threats or more interaction? Let's try this. Sure. Oh, a little land heavy, but I would keep this 6-land hand if that's what I had, or a 6-card hand if it was one less land. So not gonna mulligan it. Ooh, pieces of the puzzle. All right, I can take gifts from them. That's good. Top of Crazy Library, put 2. All right. I'm taking Manamorphose though. Their hand's pretty bad, which is great for us. Probably Thoughtseize their gifts. Especially if I have nothing else to do, and I will hopefully draw things to use my mana better later. Yeah, so we'll do that. No. Thoughtseize them. And then I have a 3-drop play and a 4-drop play. And they drew another land, so it's good for me. Take the gifts. Probably fetch basics. I don't want them to like sneak out a win with, you know, a mediocre grape shot. That's a good draw. Sleight of hands in the Serum Vision. Spire Bluff Canal. Alright, so they've got. I think I need to just get the threat out. Yeah. I think I do. The next turn will be interesting. If, I guess same idea. I could play Sword in the Fog. I could Flashback Souls, play Inquisition, especially since they're drawing cards here. Well, let's do this first. That was an awesome draw. We'll take pieces, and then I think we will surgical the gifts. Because we can't surgical anything else that really matters. Took pieces over Serum Visions, obviously. Just this gives them more selection. So I'm gonna do that. Don't need to pay life. So make sure I get all of them. It's the hard part about doing this online, is it's easy to forget to click the one that's in their graveyard. Alright, so what they sideboard in is the question. Noxious Revival, maybe on top of his owner's library, okay. So they have 2 grave shots, 2 empty the warrens. Echoing Truth is good to remember. Same name as that permanent, so again, much like Maelstrom Pulse and Staticaster to some degree, but Staticaster is just tough anyway. Another good thing about Call of the Feast is that it makes 1/1 vampires that are not spirits, so it diversifies our tokens a little bit. So that's kind of nice against cards like Echoing Truth and Maelstrom Pulse. So they have 3 Electromancers, 4 Brawls, Opt, Remands. Okay. So just kind of one-off, fun-off spells. But 2 Empty the Warrens, 2 Grave Shots is what's kind of important to remember. Cool. And then we'll do this. Like I said, I don't really want to take damage now that I have all my colors. Not that it'll really matter. I'm about to gain 8 life next turn with Sorin. But still, if they manage to get a big grape shot off, or if we end up racing, if they manage to get a big or empty the warrens out, then I want to be able to win that race, which, like I said, shouldn't really be an issue. But so they played a Steam Vents, which I didn't know about anyway, so that's fine. All right. Well, if they drew a Remand, that'll be annoying, but so be it. I don't think they had any hard counter spells. All right. Should be fairly academic from here. They could draw their 1 Echoing Truth, but pretty far behind there, and again, if they do, I'll start making 2/2s and it'll be fine. It's 2-turn clock anyway. So my other option was make a vampire, diversify a little bit if they draw Echoing Truths, but then again, if they drew to draw Echoing Truths, then putting them at 2 when I'm making 2/2 vampires is pretty good. I mean, I guess they could Grape Shot, ping some creatures, that still it's the same. Yep, you got it. Popped. We're going off a little bit. Good Grape Shot, kill my guys. Okay. I guess I could have pathed the Brawl at some point during that process, but they had all the mana they needed, so. Alright, so 2 empty the Warrens. I like all the interaction, again, Surgicals, discard spells. I know Rest in Peace and Surgical is kind of a nombo, but realistically, if I have a Rest in Peace out, it's harder for them to win anyway, or for them to go off. But not impossible, just harder. So here on the draw, and again, especially with things like Rest in Peace, where what they do there is try to storm off moderately and cast and empty the Warrens. I'm gonna bring in this. I think just seeing that they're valuing kind of empty the Warrens and Grape Shot equally at 2 copies of each means they're willing to do either, and Damnation's great against that just because they've used all these resources to get all their tokens out, and then you take that away from them. And it's a question of whether I lose Secure the Wastes or Start Finish. I think Secure the Waste. I think this is like these are about equal. If I have 4 mana, I get an extra 1, but that's not really the game here. I guess maybe cutting a Call to the Feast is probably more correct, but that's why we're playing the series anyway, so I'm not going to do it right now. Yeah, I'll keep this. So I'm going to start with Untap Land at the expense of my 2-drop not being on turn 2, but obviously this doesn't need to come out on turn 2, so that's not a problem. I just need to get the Thoughtseize online. Take a Brawler, an Electromancer. And, alright, well, I was going to say I don't know what I was going to fetch with Fetch Land, but now that I have 2, I can just get a Swamp. So I didn't really want to get an untapped Ghost Quarter. Again, life's decently relevant in this matchup. Alright, so they're far away from all of this. Again, if they had 1 Electromancer, I would take that, no question. So they need to Serum Visions, or just draw a land. They can play Electromancer, then they need to draw another land to play Warrens or Gifts. So I'm going to take the Gifts because it gives them more options. It'd be nice to take that, but Gifts will just find them whenever they need anyway. So, and if they do a smaller Warrens, then my Token Makers plus Virtue is going to shut it down anyway. So I kind of hope they play Empty the Warrens for like 6 or 8 tokens, because that with this hand I'll be plenty fine with that, given that I'll have a bunch of 2/2s. Just need to slow them down enough to get my game online. Alright, so that's pretty good for me. They bricked on land. So I'm going to go... Yeah, I mean, a discard spell here would be great, but... Souls, Call to the Feast, and then Virtue, and hopefully I'll draw some kind of interaction in the meantime. So I'm going to do this because I don't want to draw any more lands. I can thin my deck out a little bit, that's ideal. Again, fairly small thing, but so be it. Yeah, then turn 5 I can go Souls and Virtue. Well, play Virtue, get in there for a bunch, and then bring Souls back. Like I said, hopefully we'll draw some interaction instead, but can't guarantee that. So you could go Manamorphose into Empty the Warrens, maybe another Opt or something. Oh wow. Brawl, huh? They can go Empty the Warrens. Pieces of the puzzle, okay. So what was their hand? They played them. So they revealed these 5. Spirebluff, Shivan Reef, Ritual, played the Ritual, played the Warrens. Okay. So this is where Call to the Feast will be pretty good, especially 2 of them. Let's try that. I'm gonna have to block. And again, I don't mind blocking and trading. I don't want to take a ton of damage. Even though next turn my tokens will all be bigger than theirs, I just need to start going off a little bit. If they do find a Grape Shot though, we're in trouble. They can take out my my life linkers. Question is, do I trade off everything? I think I do. Trade off everything. Take a total of 5, go to 9. Next turn. Again, this is where if this was a Spectral Procession, I could next turn play Procession and Virtue, but alright. So I think this just wins. Found the Grape Shot. Well, that would have been nice with the life linkers, huh? Let's see. Yeah, I'm just dead, right? Because this can take over 6 of them, still take 5. All right. That's it. Trying to think, yeah, if I was able to cast both, or if I had the Virtue out already, could have had block 3, gain 6 life, that accounts for 9, take 2, go to 1, and then start catching up from there, because I can be attacking with Vigilant Lifelinkers. Yeah, I was close. Very close. Or I guess any removal spell right now would have got me, right? 3, 4, 6. No, I would have done it anyway. Alright. Well, so be it. Again, it's kind of a 50-50 matchup, and there you see it. There you see why. Just an untapped land sooner. I'll have to look back at this game. Maybe if I could have played this Intangible Virtue sooner in the game. I know I didn't play it early on, just for mana purposes, and so I could play my Shambling Vent tapped. But I don't know if I actually needed to do that. Obviously, I drew a lot of lands, and that I didn't know I was going to draw necessarily. But it's possible I could have played this on turn 2 and not just have never, because I used all my mana every turn, but it's possible I would have never needed to play the Shambling Vent. And if I had had this out last turn, I just would have turned around and won the game. So I want to take a look at it, learn from it, and hopefully you guys can rewind and do the same. I'll be back for round 3, but round 2 for you guys.